Outlaw Sports is brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada, and Rocky Mountain Barbecue, Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best. Before today's segment, we want to give you a chance to win a real cool prize. All you have to do is follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Join now for your chance to win an autographed Doug Gilmour Flame jersey, the real leader of the '89 Flames Cup-winning team, the club's best-looking jersey. Join us on Twitter and Facebook to win. It's that easy. Well, it's time for the All-Star break, and there's always some drama. And this year, it's being supplied by Alexander Ovechkin, who, of course, with the Washington Capitals, was suspended for 3 games for an illegal hit, and he's pouting a bit. He said, well, I'm not going to the All-Star game. Well, you don't want a guy like that pouting and hanging around anyhow. And the NHL, really, do you want to have a guy that you've already suspended going to the NHL All-Star game? It'll set a dangerous precedent, so it's best that he's not there. A lot of Flame fans are pretty optimistic right now that the Flames have been on a bit of a roll, and right now they're only 3 points back of a playoff spot. They're in 11th spot. But before you get too excited and everyone's puffing their chest up a little bit because they scored 6 goals against the Edmonton Oilers, well, hold the phone here. It was against the Oilers, and if you look back the last 5 games or so, the Flames have only got a goal a game. So even with Mike Camilleri around, they still have a shortage of goal scorers, especially with Curtis Glencross, who is tied with Jerome McGinley at 18 goals, each out for the entire season with that injury. So goal scoring is in dire need for the Calgary Flames. In fact, Jay Feaster should be looking at that to booster that part of the game. As far as the All-Star game, the only positive thing is it gives them a chance to rest their MVP of the year, Kiprusoff. I'll tell you what, they went into the season saying, hey, we got to rest this guy. We're not going to play him as many games. We'll have him ready for the end of the season. Well, you lied. It's a bunch of crap. So you don't have any, let me loosely translate that. We don't have anybody who's worthy of backing us up. We want to make a run for the playoffs. So Kipper, rest up, baby, because down this stretch drive, you're going to see a lot of ice time. Speaking of the Oilers, interesting here. Right now, they're only 9 points up on the Columbus Blue Jackets, who really are the worst team in the NHL. So the big question is this. Will the Oilers demote or trade everybody away by the trading deadline and basically run with an AHL roster? Hold it, they're doing that right now. Anyhow, the point I'm making at is this. Will they do the tank of all tanks and go searching for that #1 spot and be the first time in the history of the NHL a team would have 3 straight #1 draft picks? It's possible. They're only 9 points up, and anything can happen when you're looking at those 2 teams. Speaking of trading deadlines, there's an interesting article out of the Boston Globe regarding Tim Thomas. Now, recently, Tim Thomas has grabbed a lot of headlines for a couple of reasons. Number one, he decided he didn't want to go to the White House with the team. He doesn't like the politics of their president. Hey, it is the land of the free. Do what you want. Who cares? It's politics. It's a bunch of crap anyhow. Doesn't want to go? Big deal. But everyone else is making it a big deal. But in the last 2 games, Tim Thomas has given up 5 goals a game. You haven't seen that in a long, long time. Now, the report out of the Boston Globe indicates that the Bruins are going to try and unload Tim Thomas at the trading deadline because, who knows why, I mean, this is the guy that won then the Stanley Cup, but they've got Tuukka Rask, who's up among the leaders in goals against, and the way he's playing, I mean, it's a saw-off anyhow. Perhaps the politic thing pissed a lot of people off. Maybe they're looking at his age of 37, but every time this guy has been up against the wall and people have tested his faith and tested him, he's come out and responded. Do not give up on this guy. Make another run for the Stanley Cup. But again, I guess if you want to look at it in the way the Boston Globe was saying, you can get a lot of money and a lot of value for Tim Thomas, and you've already got a pretty good goaltender in Tuukka Rask there. So, hey, when you got that much depth and you're the champions of the NHL, anything can happen. And in CFL news, the Stampeders have extended the contract of Drew Tate. They just signed it last year, but I guess they better do something to protect this guy because they have nobody else. And then we got an interesting press release today saying the Stampeders are pleased to announce they've renegotiated Kevin Glenn's contract. Loosely translated, that means is, hey, Kevin, you're a .500 quarterback. No one else wants you. You're a backup.
It's time to suck it up and take less money or you're gone. It's that simple. I'm just telling you the truth.
Tired of going to redneck barbecues? Well, you better call Rocky Mountain Barbecue. Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best. Great tasting food, clean and efficient service. Check us out online or call Rocky Mountain Barbecue.